after 5 months of intense SEER racing, it's come down to this. The 2021 SEER Cliffhanger Extreme. This is gonna be gnarly.
10 seconds!
Alright, gotta focus on a good start. Alright, third in the woods, not bad. That's good. It's just Nick and Carter in front of me. There's Thad. He squeezed in front of me there. I struggled in that corner real bad. We're still good. Fourth is fine. Alright. Not so okay. We got more guys going past me. Gage is squeaking by, and I'm getting stuck. There goes Gage. And Clayton. This is not okay. I have to get moving. I can't get shuffled back in the pack this early.
Well, that was cold and wet.
Starts like this are always a little sketchy. You push too hard, you risk making a mistake while the entire class is right behind you, ready to go around. But on the flip side, you can't not push because they'll go around you anyway. I always opt for caution because, I'd rather not fall down at the beginning of the race and risk breaking something. Alright, this hill is my first frustration of the race. That banner right there I was supposed to hug it. I looked at it earlier and I knew exactly where I was going to go, but herd mentality kicked in and I went all the way up to top with everybody else. Now Nick was all the way up there. He just got back around me. I could have been ahead of him if I had just stuck to my plan. Now for my second frustration. I messed up this hill, and right here, I broke tape. Now, that's a big no-no, especially in SEER. I thought maybe it would be okay, because I was trying to get out of the way and not cause a bottleneck. I just went around one tree and came back in. 2 people passed me. I didn't think it was a big deal, but after talking with Derek, that is something that I could have gotten docked for if anybody had protested me. So keep that in mind when you're racing SEER races. Do not break the tape.
Black Beta is the guy I have to beat. He is in front of me.
That Black Beta is Nick Bryant. We are currently tied for second in the Silver Kids class, 16 to 34-year-old class, and whoever beats the other in this race takes home second place. So I have to beat him. Unfortunately, he and everybody else that got around me in the silver class is stuck in the main line, so I have to improvise. with taking a virgin line like this is there's so much loose dirt on top of the rocks, and I have to use small controlled bursts of the clutch and throttle to get over any of those rocks and roots that I can't ride straight up over. Eventually I just have to push because he's climbing the hill faster than I am.
Wow, that was a tough climb.
Alright, I'm taking a second to look at it, find a line. This is where I'm going. And that's as far as I got. Not the end of the world. I just saw Nick's line. He started from this little pothole plateau spot right here, so I'll just get into it, find my line, and take a second shot at it.
Whoa!
I appreciate Alex's attempt to take out my competition. That almost worked. Alright, I'm getting guys flooding into this little spot and I can't get out. I'm stuck. That's Jeff Hagewood right there. He's from the 35 plus class, so I've been here long enough for them to catch up. He graciously lets me go by, so here I go. And I came out of my line and had to salvage what I could. Not what I wanted, but I can drop right back down to this hole and try again. Alright, it's finally time for me to get in the line, so I can try and get myself out of here. But nobody's making it really, and I don't have a clear run. I'm running out of time quick. After a quick rev of desperation, I find my hole. This time, it goes about as good as I could ask for. It's about as good as anybody else is getting, so I'll take it. From here, I'll push. However, the desperation is still there. Nick is nowhere in sight. He's already up the hill and gone. Now I have gold class rider San Sylvie coming up the same line I'm in, so out of courtesy I have to try and get up as quick as I can so I don't hold him up. And we are there.
Not what I needed.
Now, while I am extremely disappointed in that hill climb, it's not the end of the world.
Oh, he's right there. Okay. He's right there. on the way.
I grab a quick drink of water, take a couple breaths, and I try to make my way back through some of the guys that have gotten around me on that disaster of a hill climb. However, we're back into the same boat. There's people coming, and I don't want to get swallowed up. Now, would you look at that? We even got Drew Dobbs throwing a little trail side motivation our way. Such a nice guy. After watching Alex struggle on that rock, I thought, man, I don't have time for this. I have to catch Nick. So this is my first commitment moment. Now that may not look like much on camera, but it's a pretty steep bank, and that rock was just awkward enough that I probably wouldn't have committed to that a couple races ago. It's something I've been working on, and it's actually been helping my confidence a lot. Now it's time to catch Nick. Now I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him since I got to the top of the hill, and I don't know how hard he's pushing in these trails. So I just have to go as hard as I can without making mistakes. This spot here, it's another overthinking moment. I saw that line from the angle those two guys are at, and I thought, nah, I better not try that. I get stuck on the log. I ended up spending more time trying to line up to it straight. I should have just gone at the angle and pushed over if I didn't make it. I'm working on it, but stuff like that still gets me every once in a while. Immediately after one poor choice, I make another. I could have lined up for that right line, seeing that bronze rider in there, but I didn't, and it really killed me on that hill. I should have been able to ride right up it.
Yeehaw, buddy! There's no traction there. I'm gonna catch him. He's right there. All right, he's right in front of me. I just got to make my way through these guys without getting tangled up. So I rev on these guys, and then I take forever to get around them. I should have gone right around them and got it over, but I didn't. I don't know. I guess, see, I can see Nick right in front of me, so my sense of urgency isn't way hot. And then that could happen. In hard enduro, there's so many little things that could slip somebody up, especially when you're passing slower riders. Something could slip them up, and you really have to be careful passing them. But like I said, I can still see Nick right ahead of these guys, so I figure I shouldn't push the issue to the point where I risk crashing myself or someone else.
Thanks, buddy!
Case in point coming up right here. I could have pushed off to the left. I had room. But if I had done it and he didn't know it, and he'd come down that line just like he did, he would have taken us both out. And that, anytime bikes come together, you risk foot peg in the case, some kind of race-ending damage to your bike. And it's just not worth the risk in a 4-hour race like this. This early, it's not worth the risk.
Right there. Okay.
He must be fighting some arm pump. He hung that clutch arm down to the side. That's a telltale sign. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know that I say alright to myself a lot. That, to me, is kind of like a mental reset. It's kind of a signal to myself that I need to forget everything that's happened and focus forward. Alright, that was a small mental lapse on my part. I probably shouldn't have pushed that line so hard. It threw me off, but it did let him know I was there. If he didn't already, he does now.
Now, I have already pulled my goggles off, so I can't get too close to him, otherwise I'll get hurt in the eye. I have to make sure when I creep up on him that I can make the pass. I'm gonna be able to make the pass thick.
So thought process right now. He's right in front of me. We're both kind of at a leisurely trail pace, and we're just trying to freight train through some of these bronze and iron riders. Oh, hey, it's Jason. I loaded up with him to come down to this race together. Anyway, neither one of us are pushing the issue right now. We know it's a long race. There's a lot of difficult stuff to come, and we don't need to be wasting energy. We'll just pick our way through these guys until we get to the first hard section. Here's where we have to push. There's some riders in the way. We dip around them. There's a couple more on the hill, but we have to push up this rocky climb. He's going good. I follow up him, and then he gets caught up. I have to push off to the left, and then I get real stuck. Now, I shouldn't have been following him, but there was no other available lines, so I just had to make the best with what I've got. But man, did this cost me.
And that's what I get. That's what I get. This is what I get for trying to push.
Needless to say, I was very, very frustrated. And by trying to push, what I meant in this context was trying to push the issue. I could have taken just that split second and waited for him to get a little farther ahead of me, so that if he did make a mistake, I would have time to react. But I didn't. I followed him straight up the hill, right on his back wheel, and when he made a mistake, I didn't have time to get out of the way. But now, he's gone again, and I'm frustrated.
I don't know what sounds I was making with my voice.
Well, now we know what sounds I make. When the bike crushes my ankle against a rock, I panic because I can't get it out, and I strain to lift it back up. Good information there.
But this is not how you catch. I'm choking. I can't choke. I have to think.
Now that I've made those mistakes, I have to push harder in this trail to make up the difference. The problem is, this trail has got a bunch of loose chatter and sharp rocks and roots, and when you're pushing in trail like that, it can bite you real quick.
Ah! Why? I can't push. This is what happens when I push. I make stupid, and I can't.
Apparently I can't form full sentences. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that when I try to push and trail like this, while I'm aggravated specifically, I make dumb mistakes, and then I can't start my bike, and then it just compounds and gets me more aggravated when I really just need to take a second, reset, take a breath, and then pick it back up again. Time for our next gold-silver split. Now this should be the wash. Now I remember last year, but was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I remember last year I had a pretty solid line through there, so I'm trying to remember where I went. I know I hopped over this little group of logs and I hugged right to go over the big log. But this year I looked at it and it looks like it's been washed out a little bit more, and I decided no, I probably better not take that line. So I'll go off to the left. There's nothing too bad in the left side, so I'll just work my way through there until I get back to the spot where I took my line last time. And look who's at the top. I've caught right back up to Nick, so I can breathe.
Alright, it's all good. He's right here. Last time I had a good line through this. Just gotta remember where I go.
I guess I'm gonna try this.
Give her a shot.
I'm gonna go up this. Yeah.
Go up it. You're not gonna try it. There is no try.
Yeah.
Do or do not.
Okay, go.
Alright, there's nowhere to go right now.
It's right about here where I realize it's not gonna cut it. Back down, give it another shot.
That one didn't count.
Not quite enough go-go juice. Oh well, we'll push up a little bit, no big deal. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit of a deal. Well, chainsaw didn't work. Alright, this is actually turning out to be a bigger deal than I was expecting. I'm not happy about this.
What do you think, Will?
Well, at least Nick up there's not having it much easier than I am. I'm gonna skip forward through a little bit of this stuff because it's mostly just kind of creeping around and everybody getting their bikes positioned. Nothing real groundbreaking going on here right now.
Nice.
One painstaking step at a time.
Okay.
Unless you want to go.
I'm gonna let Alex go because I want to take a good close look at this drool-worthy YZ he's got built up. Panthera electric start, the whole 9 yards. That's a gem. Time to learn from my mistake. Watch my front wheel. See how it was pointing downhill as I was going up that little ledge? That set my bike up to launch in that direction and point me down the hill. I needed to make sure it was pointing up the hill to follow that line.
No!
Now I'm in a pickle because this hill is steep and it's loose, so there's not any really good grip on anything. And I'm in a very bad spot. Yet another teaching moment. I should have had the hammer down in that line. But now I'm in a pickle again.
No! No!
So my buddy Alex hops off his bike to come help me out, but he soon realizes
Oh boy.
Yeah.
now I'm in a bad spot.
I don't know what I want to do here.
You may be committed.
Yeah. I'm on it. God bless America.
And that was the point I became a lost cause.
Hey Spencer, don't let your back tire fall. Go over that rut over there. Put that rock there.
This is not where I want to be. No. No.
Now I'm obviously a little frustrated, but I'm also in a spot where I have to think. And I can't rush myself, I can't get in a hurry, or I'm going to end up at the bottom of this hill. And look how many guys would be in front of me if that happened. So I have to take my time. And it's looking like they're struggling up there, he's struggling back there. Nobody's really rushing me. I can take my time. trying to figure my way through this, there are two facts that are abundantly clear.
Not at all where I want to be. Nick is gone. Man, I gotta go. Gotta go, man. Are you gonna be able to get it from where you are? Clean, you think?
And the only reason I ask is because I didn't want to be flopping around on the side of the hill like a fish out of water if he was confident to make that hill in one run. But he didn't seem too sure of himself, so I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. Holy smokes. Did not expect that to work. Alright. Take a breath. Second gear. Barely slip the clutch on the biting point. Do not let that rear wheel slide or it will go down the hill. And I'm almost. One more good push. And I'm out. Right into the poison ivy. Okay. We gotta go. Time to go. I don't know what the trail's like. I don't know how far Nick's made it. But I know I spent too much time on the hill, so I've gotta go.
Year. Last year was dry though.
So this is where fitness comes into play. I should be pushing on this trail. It's wide open, relatively clean. There's no reason for me to be cruising right now. I did tell myself to take a breath. I did grab a little bit of water, but I didn't exert myself enough on that hill that I should be out of breath. That's where my fitness training this off season is going to come into play. I'm losing time right here.
Need some water.
Took a drink of water. I'm giving myself a few deep, solid breaths, and it's time to go. Reset. Let's hammer down.
Whoa!
Just in time to blow a corner. That's my luck. Now here's something I didn't realize that I did until I was watching this video back. When I'm breathing, subconsciously, I make a lot of huhs. And that's not a full exhale, so I'm not making enough room for oxygen. I need to train myself to exhale like I'm blowing out a candle. That'll help get more used air out of my lungs to make room for more fresh. Something I'm gonna work on.
No reason to go over that.
Not when there's a perfectly legal, less risky line to take just below that. Now, I watched Drew Kirby's video. He made it over that just fine, but when he landed on the backside of that, his rear end slid down that hill, and it was a little bit of a push to get back up on the line. That may not have been the case for me. I could have put the front wheel first down there and gone careening down that hill head over heels, and it would have been a bad deal. It was just a risk, and I didn't feel like taking it.
Oh, this is that hill. And there he is. All right, cool.
Well, that didn't go as planned. You'll go right up it.
You think? I haven't gone right up much of anything yet.
Me neither.
What's the hang up? Is just that kicker rock?
Yeah. If you go left, if you can go left with a little momentum, you'll go right around it.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to tell you that since we're battling, but.
That's okay. I'll point out lines if I see them to you.
All right.
My forehead's pulsing. Fourth gear? Okay.
That's the kind of competitor Nick is, offering sage advice to his title rival. But me, I'm a little punk. I'm gonna ignore him and go in second gear anyway.
My foot peg. I couldn't put my foot down.
As much as I love my Garnet SG12s, I do have one complaint. On the inside, the buckle that goes over the top of the ankle, it has a spot where if you try and dab and your foot is too close to the peg, it will grab the peg and get you hung up and you can't actually put your foot down. It's cost me a couple times. It's something that I should probably pay attention to, but it's something that I didn't have issue with my cities.
This stuff isn't it's taking entirely too much work. I should not be working this hard.
Speaking of hard work, we have arrived. This was... it was bad. Real bad. Now I come up to Will Preston here, and he's in a bad way on this hill. He's pointing downhill in front of the log, so every time he tries to do anything to get his bike over that log, he pushes himself farther down the hill, whether he's trying to adjust his rear wheel like right here, or if he's trying to use the bike to lift the front wheel over the log. Everything he does pushes him farther down, and I really want to help him, but my title rival is right behind me, so I don't help him. And I really feel bad about that. I'm sorry, Will. If it was any other circumstance, I would have helped you.
This is a nasty spot for a log.
Oh, there he goes. He got his front wheel over. Just creep it over. Oh no. It slid. There it goes. Man, I feel so bad. There's just nothing I can do at this point though. He's almost over. He's pointing the wrong way down the hill though. So it's my turn to give it a shot. I just got to make sure I don't slide. I need to make sure my wheel tracks up. And I'm over. Okay. I'm on the skid plate, but I'm not sliding. Now I'm just going to work the back wheel over a little bit. And we're clear. All good. Alright, time to push on. Alright, I come up to this rock right here, and this took a little pondering on my part. Somehow I had to carry enough momentum over this rock that I could let off the throttle entirely and coast over it. Perfect.
Holy smokes. That is some of the most technical off-camber stuff I've ever done. That was... oh, excuse me. Alan would not have enjoyed that. Alright, we're going more off-camber.
Yeah, more off-camber. Steeper, looser, and just more of everything off camber. It was bad.
Oh no.
So bad, in fact, that trail boss Derek told me he never wants to ride a bike across it again. And me, being the optimistic person that I am, said, "Oh, so you're not going to send us through it anymore?" He just laughed at me.
Oh.
Boy, look at the pickle I'm in. I got a tree behind my number plate. In front of my forks, but behind my handlebar. I don't know how I got pretzeled around in there, but it was in a bad spot, and it took me about 5 minutes to get my bike off that. That was 5 minutes and a whole bunch of energy. And gas. All the gas dumping down my bike. That was cool.
Dude, I thought my race was over.
That rock! Stay off of it.
I'm gonna try not to hit you.
Can't be any worse than what I already pulled myself out of.
I'll be able to roll all the way over this log. Now the bike's at the bottom, and it's just gonna slide down. Hell of a race for the championship, second place.
Yeah, look at us.
This is just like little by little.
Yeah.
Because I got hung up real bad. And I was like, let's just figure out how to go.
Oh man, Nick's passed me again. I gotta get going. Gotta pass him back, somehow. I gotta move forward, somehow. I had a tree wedged on both sides of my wheel. It was stuck in that side of my swing arm. And then you'll see in a little bit, I move forward some, and it's stuck on the other side of my swing arm.
If your skid plate touches that rock, face it towards the hill, because you've probably seen stuff like that before.
Look at me trying to tell Will Preston from American Hard Enduro how to ride hard enduro. Like I said, he's probably seen this 100 times, but me, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't think I've ever been on an off-camber this bad. It wasn't so much that it was the steepest off-camber I've ever been on, because I think, if I remember right, I think the GPS race at Cairo still holds the record for the steepest off-camber I've been on. But that off-camber had a shoulder, like a beat-in line, a shelf that you could ride on. This, it has a shelf, but it's nothing but powdery, soft soil and loose rocks. So it's really not trustworthy at all.
This isn't even enjoyable right here.
Now we come up to another downhill, sideways, off-camber, dumb log. And this one's really tall too. The only comforting thought about this log is that big tree on the right. It'll catch you if you start to fall or slide. Man, I thought I crushed my pipe completely right there. I wheelied into it, and the only thing that hit that log was my pipe. I don't know how it came out without a dent, but I think there's a couple in it. Honestly, I think my bike survived the race just fine. Panic. Pure panic right there. I can't pull it up. There's something catching on it. I just don't. He's yelling about something. I can't pull my bike up. It will not go. And every time I let it back down, it slips a little farther. However, I do see this tiny little shelf right here where I can kind of recover and reevaluate the situation. So there's my option. I can work my way up here. It's not incredibly bad. It seems like I have like maybe a deer trail or something. There's just enough of a ledge. The only obstacle in my way is this tree. And so I just gotta lay the bike down and creep under it, because laying a bike down on an off-camber like that naturally
wants to make the tires slide down the hill. So you really have to be careful when you're leaning into the hill like that. But I get out from underneath the tree okay, and I find a spot where I can kind of power up. I try to get as much momentum up as I can, and I start to feel the back wheel slipping, so I come out of it. Now I'm back to just pushing and pushing and pushing. So I'm getting back up the trail. Well, here's Nick pointing the wrong way. Something must have happened to him. He must have had I don't know. He's pointing the wrong way. Time to take a break.
Alright, I gotta get a Will's way. Try to get out of Will's way here. And there's Gage right up there. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, that was so lucky.
That right there was the single biggest relief of the entire race. That could have gone so badly.
Oh no!
I honestly don't remember what I just oh-no'd right there. I think I was trying to go above this log and my rear tire slipped out of the line. Something, I don't know. But this log wasn't even that big of a deal. I just wanted to try and go around it because there's a bunch of guys sitting right there, so I thought maybe it was a big deal. Again, another one of those overthinking moments. I almost went down the hill right there. Thank goodness that tree was there or I would have been down. I think that's Carl LeBlanc, Ryder's dad. Anyway, he has a little slip. So I try to take this high line, and everything's going great until...
Well, that's one way to not go where I want to go. That was such a hero run, dude. Let me get my bike on the line here real quick, and I'll come help get yours back on there, and we'll see if we can't power through this.
Coming for you, motherfucker. I don't know what I'm doing. Jeez. But it's a lot of work.
Looks like it, man.
So Carl decides he's going to try this line he found a little lower on the hill. And me, I have no intention of taking the echoing taunts from my rival lightly. I'm getting back on the trail and I'm going. Five whole feet.
All right, old girl. I know you're about 10 years older than every bike out here, but we're gonna show them what for.
It's not just the riders that need encouragement out here. We can't forget the bikes. All this kicking is for a reason. I'm trying to get myself some kind of shelf because I need something reliable to get myself up and over this rock. So I dig in a little bit with my boot, try to get a flat spot for the tire to sit on and dig into.
No!
It just didn't work. Because right under that flat spot that I kicked up was a tree root. Go figure. I was stuck. My front wheel was wedged into this rock and my back wheel was on a tree root. And I couldn't pull it back without going down the hill, and I can't really lift it up any higher. Because, I mean, I don't know how deep that root goes up that hill. But I tried a couple times. I've cut it out, but I tried a couple times to lift my tire high enough. I just could not get it done. So I'm trying to figure out anything. That's exactly what I was worried about. I tried creeping back just a little bit and it fell all the way down. So I'm in the same spot as Carl, but I see a line and I'm gonna try, like he said, I'm gonna slide down just a little bit and try this line right here. It looks like once I push through this brush, I should be able to get back on the trail. I don't know, we're gonna try it.
No way! Oh, that's Brad. Okay.
Not me.
Oh, I thought you found a hero line. I was like, no way.
Dude,
There's Ryder.
let me just You're good. Let's just team up. I'll let you go first. Get out of here.
This is something else I love about hard enduro. How many other sports does your title rival, who's in a winner-take-all battle with you right now, stop his progress to help you? That camaraderie between competitors is one of the things that has locked me into this discipline of racing.
Okay, that's not where I want my bike. That's where I want my bike.
What do you think?
Oh no. Hold up, time out. Hold everything. Nope. I got a busted buckle in my
Let me see if I can get myself unstuck, even though I don't. There's no way.
I'll see if I can manhandle it up that way.
And you get off the bike and push, and don't let just give it a little bit. And
Oh, yeah.
Don't let the clutch out. It'll track.
Yeah, and then I'll help you get up to this spot, and you can track, and we'll get on our merry way.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get out of here.
Time to do some last-minute trail maintenance. All right, I'm gonna go help Nick.
Alright, so while the camera was off, we pulled Nick back up the hill, and then Will Preston snuck by. I wasn't quite ready to go just yet, so I let Nick go on ahead. And this is where we're at right now. So, I see Will and Nick both at this log here, and I don't want to knock either one of them down the hill. So, I try to shoot it up a little higher on this log. And going the high line hasn't worked out for me yet, but this time it seems like it's going to. I can kind of creep myself over this log. Now, I probably could have made it over the log if I had a little bit more steam, but again, the way things have been going on this side of this hill, I didn't want to take a chance of launching my bike or something dumb happening and it flips down the hill. Hold on a second, where am I going?
Oh, I guess that's one way to stop. Nothing broke.
That's using my head. Hey, when your brakes don't quite cut it, you gotta improvise.
What am I doing?
This is your fault for saying I hate those diagonal logs.
Huh?
Maybe it was someone else, but they're like, man, I'm glad there's no diagonal logs in that race. Those are dangerous.
Oh, that was Alan Westerfield. Oh, buddy.
You hear that, Alan? You jinxed us. They built this section just for you, and we had to ride it. No, I really don't know what all the grunting was for. Just in case you were asking, I don't have answers for you.
All right, this is walk down. I get caught up on so many of these.
Again, complete thoughts not happening right now. Anyway, I'm talking about vines. There's a bunch of vines and roots, and they're still connected, so I get, uh-oh. Okay, I can deal with this. No.
That is not the way you need to be going down there.
No, it's not. Anyway, the vines were... I can't do nothing. Anyway, I'm talking about the vines and roots that are still connected to the ground that my boots were getting caught on. Actually, I think this way going down the hill is pretty efficient. I'm pointing the right way, and it didn't take a lot of energy. Anyway, I just didn't want to trip and fall down the hill.
Is there another one that steep right there?
No, it's not bad. We can ride it.
Okay. That looks pretty stinking steep.
So I'm creeping up to this, and it's looking steeper and steeper the closer I get. But I've gone down stuff steep like this before, but this is real steep. Anyway, I work my way down, and then I start seeing logs and stuff in the way, so I'm like, man, I really got to pick the line perfectly and stay in it. And we're good. No big deal.
All right. Not too shabby.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably put that entire off-camber section somewhere in a 12 on the FDB scale. But we made it, we're alive. Time to roll on. after I fix my buckle.
Bye. Is clear.
As I said, conscience is clear. I helped when I could. So, on to what really surprised me. I felt great. And I don't know if it was because I spent, maybe 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes, I don't know. I lose track of time. But I spent a decent amount of time working myself down the hill, not spending much energy. I think I probably rested up a little bit on the way down. And now I'm at the bottom of the hill and I feel great. So, let's go. I've got to put as much time between me and Nick as possible while he's working his way down.
Pretty sure I've crunched the crap out of my pipe.
Now, I've learned early in this race that blazing through these trails is not going to get me that far ahead.
Whoa!
Because of that.
Hey, Carter. Hey, do you have any zip ties?
I do not.
Do you have an 8mm?
What?
Do you have an 8mm?
No.
Dang.
I don't have anything. I got this, and it's out of the water.
I'm in the same boat, man. I probably should carry tools with me. Alright, so Carter Bowen's is right there. And I know he's pretty quick. So that Off-Camber hill must have really messed up some people.
A little premature excitement on this one. I come up to this fella here and I see a big old 124 on his jersey and I think, holy cow, I've caught Carter Bowens. Turns out to be Carter's brother riding in some borrowed gear. So yeah, I'm not catching Carter Bowens, but it did light a fire in me, thinking I did. So I got a whole bunch of extra confidence going. And I'm actually enjoying myself for the moment. Maybe not about 10, 15 minutes ago, but right now I'm having fun.
Keep losing my number plate. I don't want it to get caught up in my front wheel. I don't know that it actually will. Actually, it may not. I may be all right. All right, I think that's Jeff Hagewood. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, see, that's not good. I can't have my front number plate in there. That's gonna be obnoxious.
Yeah, that number plate has got to get fixed. It's working its way in between my front fender and my tire, and I can actually feel it. So I can't finish the race like this, and I can't stop every 30 seconds to put it back on.
Anybody got an 8mm?
Yeah.
Socket, if you could.
I don't have a socket. I got zip ties and a wrench.
No.
What do you need?
What about a flathead or something that'll fit in there and grab those splines?
Go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud. Yeah. Is that good?
Thanks.
Okay, sorry, bud. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I don't know who he was, but thank you so much for helping me out with that. If you do know him, go shake his hand for me.
How far into the race are we? I don't have a clock.
What's that? Hold on. 11:58, 2 hours.
2 hours?
Halfway right now, like
Halfway.
halfway.
This is checkpoint 2.
Take a breather. You need water? You want some water?
Do you need water?
I'm drawing a blank. I don't know.
Water?
I don't know yet. I might, yeah. I don't know how far away Nick is.
There we go. I got it out. I do need some water, but I can't wait too long.
That didn't work.
Party foul. My bad.
All right, we got a couple extra water bottles thrown in the camelback. I got my number plate tightened back up.
Which essentially means I am completely refreshed and ready to go. Just in time for the nastiest rock garden I've ever ridden in my life. Go figure. So as I'm making my way through this, trying to figure out where to put my front wheel, where my back wheels are gonna go, how to stay out of the holes, just overall trying to figure out how to get through this, I hear somebody coming behind me. It's Nick. Great.
Dang it, man, you're right on me again.
So now I have to go. And I just have to pick a line and do it and hope it doesn't really bury me somewhere. And what do you know? I put my front wheel in the worst possible place. It's stuck in this hole. The rest of the bike has swung over to the steering stop, pinching me between the bike and the handlebar, and now I'm in a pickle. So I got the bars and the bike all centered up, straight in the line, so I just kind of work my way down nice and slow. And I'm out. Not a big deal. Except now, I'm wedged.
I like your line better than the right.
I got one. Thank you.
That there was Tanner Jones' mom, and she has been awesome. Such a huge help to me in the last few races. I tell you what took a lot of energy in this section was all these small little launches that I had to rein the bike in and keep it from looping out or whatever. It took a lot of strength.
can get up there, that'd be awesome. I don't think it's going through that.
We are all completely gassed right now.
And the right way to go is over here. I didn't even see it.
I'm gonna try and peel off to the left right here.
Quick little talk of strategy and we're back rolling again, or trying to. It's one of those times where you just have to take a second, look where you want to go, figure things out.
I'm gonna try to go where you're going, but
Well,
Alright, so the pros come through stuff like this, and they probably don't think about it too awful much. They've got a basic idea of where they're going already. But for mortals like me, and probably a lot of you watching, you kind of have to take baby steps. You look at where you're at, where you want to go. Whoa!
found some traction.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, you look at where you want to go, you figure out how you're going to get to that next step, and then it's just take one step at a time, and you figure it out, reset, hit the next spot. And just like any other technical aspect of riding, the more you do it, the faster the decisions, the faster those steps come to you, and the faster you can move on. So it's just a matter of finding a spot, wherever you ride, that's really nasty, and just go through it over and over and over again until you've hit every possible angle and figured out how to navigate every possible shape of rock. Once you figure that out, then everything you find in a race is just same thing in a different place. Another thing that had me really nervous about this rock section was that drop on my right. All it takes is a little tip over and I'm going to go down into that creek and it's not going to be pretty.
Oh, that could have been so much worse.
It is hard not to take a second and admire the scenery though. I mean, it's gorgeous out here.
All right, it's obvious at this point I'm not gonna be able to get this whole race on video. I'll do the best I can.
The other thing that's not going to be in this video in its entirety is this rock garden. I spent entirely too much time here and I don't want to watch it all, so I'm not going to make you guys watch it either. It's just a lot of the same.
Mike tried to go up there without me.
Now I am tiptoeing through this because, man, that's a nasty looking drop, and with my luck of going down hills the wrong way in this race, I'm gonna play it safe.
Not where I wanted to go. What is with these guys and off-cameras this year? This isn't fun.
Okay, let me clarify that comment. It is not fun at the moment. I'm watching this video back and I'm thinking, okay, it was actually pretty cool. But at the time, I was definitely questioning my life choices.
What am I doing?
I've listened to it about 30 times, still don't know what he said there. I know there was a thanks involved, so I don't know if the stuff that came before the thanks was sarcasm or what. Maybe I was in the hotline. If I was, I'm sorry.
This isn't fun. This sucks.
Yeah, okay, now I'm definitely not having fun. And even watching it back, I was like, yeah, that was pretty miserable. This whole section was just a relentless beat down. I mean, yeah, you could stop and rest, but as soon as you take off again, any energy that you might have gained from resting is gone. And it just holds you down and beats you into submission. It's a big mental struggle to keep going.
Stop it!
Look at me. I'm yelling at rocks. If anything tells you about my state of mind right now, it's that. I'm yelling at rocks. almost done with this rock section. One more spot and then we're out. So I'm setting up for this main line right in front of me. All I gotta do is go to the right apparently. Yeah. Yeah, no big deal. Quick pivot, there's a clean way out, and I'm done. Finally. Holy cow.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
Keep moving. I gotta tell myself, I wanted to stop, trust me. But now that I'm out of that section and back into somewhat of what you might call a clean trail, now I have to start trying to get my flow back.
I would get in that creek, but what are you doing, you guys?
I found myself really getting frustrated with some of their trail layout decisions at this race. Not because it was a bad trail, but because I just didn't want to do any of it. Now I see a line going off to the right and I see a pink ribbon tied to a tree, so I am under the assumption that that is a designated sissy line, I guess you could call it.
What silver guy is gonna jump that log?
Hey, I want you guys to take note of something. Listen to how long it takes for my bike to idle down when I, whatever, spin out, whatever it is. Just pay attention to how long it takes my bike to idle down. There's something going on with my bike that I am not yet aware of in this race that is severely hurting me. You'll find out soon.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm tired.
How are you?
Did you hear that? Any guesses? Any ideas what might be going wrong with my bike at this point? I'm about to figure it out. throttle cable adjustment barrel had backed itself almost completely out, and it had pulled all the slack out of my cable. So what that was doing, it was throwing off my muscle memory of throttle control. So when I think I'm giving just a little bit of throttle, I'm actually giving it quite a bit more. And while listening to the bike, listen to the engine, that is a huge part of throttle control. Most of it, in my opinion, is muscle memory. And when your throttle cable is tighter or looser than where you're used to riding it, it can easily change how you manage your throttle.
As much as I want to stop and rest, Gage is right up there. And I can't let him beat me out here. No way.
So yeah, that's Gage. Well, that's Jeremiah Burkhart right in front of me, but Gage is just a little ways up. And I'm not gonna let him beat me on what I consider to be my roots of hard enduro. Trials Training Center was the first hard enduro experience, period. I've never ridden anything remotely like this before. So when I came to the Tennessee Knockout in 2018, that kind of sealed the deal for Trials Training Center to be a special place to me. And I'm not gonna let him come out here and beat me.
Why is that there?
Notice my camera angle. It's low because my head is underneath the log and I can't lift it. Alright, so this fella right here just taking that sweet high line, that's Thad Huff. And I guess him and Gage ride together a lot. And I'm guessing I'm probably going to end up riding with both of them, because they're both not far away from where I'm from. So we're probably going to end up riding together a lot. But he's pretty slick. And I guess he's been teaching Gage a lot of stuff. Now, he told me later that he had been struggling here for quite a while, and it just seems like he's having a hard time finding traction. And that could be the learning curve of throttle control and this kind of stuff, or it could be tire choice, or it could be that he weighs like $130 soaking wet. Whatever it is, he's just not hooking up.
I feel like I'm about to puke.
I'm out of water.
That's not good. I'm fixing to try and make this line here real quick. So
Back up.
yeah, if you could back up a little. I can't wait around too long. Nick's not far behind.
So anyway, I saw how much Gage was struggling on this spot, and I'm assuming wet rocks. So I'm gonna go over the dry rocks. Yeah, hero line. Now this moment right here was one that I'm really actually proud of. Some of you really good riders would probably see that and say, that's no big deal. But for me, committing to a line like this is still new and exciting to me.
There, I botched it up.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'll take that.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm still getting used to the idea that I can actually do that stuff. I have the knowledge, I have the skills necessary to do it, but it's just been the last couple of races that I've actually been starting to pull the trigger on these, and it's so very rewarding. So after that first successful launch, I decided to spend the rest of Easy Creek, which is where we are, trying to refine this a little bit. So I actually don't have any experience using this technique. I guess it's called loading the flywheel. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I'm gonna go up Easy Creek here, and anytime I come up to a spot where I think I might be able to use it, I'm gonna practice. Right there, it worked great. Other places, it may not work so good, but I want to figure it out. I want to figure out the clutch control portion of it, how much throttle I need, stuff like that. Now that I'm almost out, it actually helped quite a bit. So I come up to Thad here taking a break, so I figure now's as good a time as any. I'll stop for a bit.
Right now, Spencer.
Woo! Took about 2 minutes there. I needed it. One step at a time up Easy Creek. That was a good step. I'll take that step.
After that break I took with Thad, I keep thinking, man, Nick's going to be right there when I turn around. But so far, I'm good. So we'll just keep pushing forward. Hopefully I make good enough time to keep him behind me.
Oh man, I hate this hill.
So this hill coming up completely demoralized me last year. I was toast. I had to get help getting pulled up. I was in a bunch of guys' way. It was bad. So I'm not looking for this one to be any better now that there's nobody there to help me. Right here is a good opportunity to talk about something I see a lot of guys doing. I realized I wasn't going. I stopped, I looked around, and I picked out an alternate line. This is something that I see a lot of guys in bronze and iron class struggling with. They'll get caught up on a rock face or something. On a hill like this, it's rocky, and they'll spin and spin and spin trying to get up that one spot when it would be a lot easier on them and their equipment to just take a second, look for a different way, just get off of that one rock that's throwing them off. Now obviously you've already seen me spin and spin and spin in several places. Sometimes my judgment lapses and I sit there and make bonehead mistakes. And sometimes, like on the wash, there's no alternate line. But on a rocky climb like this, you have loads of alternate lines. Right here's another example. See, sometimes it's just as simple as moving your front tire a little bit. Most of the time it's way more complicated, but sometimes it's just that simple. I'm so paranoid right now. That one almost got away from me. That was close.
Time for some mental preparation. Definitely not looking forward to this one. So I got up the first ledge okay, and you might be able to see that the line kind of snakes its way up this hill. So I got up the first pivot pretty good. Now it's time to figure out how to get up this long one with no run. It's very, very loose, so I'm just going to start pushing. And that works out actually pretty well. So I pivot it around and get ready for the next run. This one's going to be a little bit more tricky. I've got to turn as soon as I take off, and there's a pretty tricky little root ledge kind of thing right there as soon as I get done turning. So I kind of have to do it all in one motion. And we're up. Now we take a second, look what the next line's going to be. Short little bump up, and now I'm on the next line. This looks like it's the home stretch. Pretty straight, so I've got to make this one run count. Now watch this right here. See that split second indecision? I was pointing to the right line and then decided to go left at the last minute. Those are the kind of decisions that can really put you in a tight spot on hill climbs like this.
Oh, that was so much better than last year. Oh no, it's friends with benefits. I hate this hill, but I'm too tired. All right, we sat here for about 2 minutes. I don't want to sit any longer than that. 2 minutes is about my limit. So I gotta find a good spot to climb this.
While I stopped, I kept an ear out. I didn't hear any bikes coming, so I went ahead and pushed to 2 minutes of rest because I know what's coming up and I know I'm gonna need every second of rest I can before I attack this. Last year was pretty rough on me, and this year it looks like it's deteriorated. So I've got to come up with a game plan.
Okay, back down. That was a terrible run. Yeah. Please tell.
Don't worry.
Huh?
Just a rider.
Second lap.
Third. There you go.
Just like that, huh?
Now last time I watched a rider climb a hill, I followed his line and it worked out great. Let's try that again.
Why in the world did I think it'd be a good idea to try rider's line?
Let's see what young Gage can do here. Oh, little stumble, no big deal. He had a lot of wheel spin going on and that was throwing him off his line.
You need to get a little higher than that tree.
So here's Thad's first attempt. Notice how much lower RPMs he's using. He's keeping his wheel hooked up a little bit better. Alright, so I'm setting up for my third run. This time I rest my back wheel against that tree so I don't have to worry about counteracting the bike rolling down the hill while I'm trying to launch forward. Gage decided to come down and try it a second time, which is probably a smart decision. That would have been a lot of work to push up from where he was.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough, I suppose. But if you notice, right before I got to that tree right in front of me there, I hesitated with the throttle a little bit. If I could have kept it on, kept that momentum going without backing down, I would have made it all the way up here without having to pull my back wheel around. Here's Gage's next run. Man, that was almost perfect. If that rear wheel hadn't have skipped out on him right at the end.
You got it, buddy. Just, hey, hop off the side and walk it up in second.
So I turned my camera off at a bad time, but Gage is running off the Kickstarter right now. So that was a little bit of a hassle to get his bike started and back up on the line, but he made it. It's all good. Time to roll on. I just watched that rock fall 30 feet down that waterfall, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not rolling backwards at all.
Oh, that's right. Last year I went plumb up on top of that tree and stayed high.
That line from last year, definitely not going to work this year. There was no way to get enough drive to get all the way up that high. So we make the best with what we got. And right now what we got is a really awkward ledge on an off-camber.
Pull your back end back over there, and then when you go to take off, ball your foot on that outside peg, stand up with your butt over the fender, and you'll get as much traction as possible. Otherwise you're going to slip right back down on that rock again. Right there, ball your foot, stand on it, just barely tiptoe on the upside of the hill, and give her a smooth launch. Real smooth launch. You gotta give her a little bit of a wrap, but it's gotta be real smooth. Pull it over and try it again. You're gonna slide yourself right down the hill right there. You gotta give it just enough to where you have a little bounce right when you hit that rock, and then lighten up on it. As soon as you hit that rock, lighten up on the peg.
I realized watching this video back that I'm very long-winded. I need to summarize my explanations in 20 words or less.
Just a real smooth rock. Oh man, that's slick.
He did everything just right. It's just that spot's a little hairy. So I get off the bike and I go get him up there because, well, I told him what to do, and now he's hanging off the side of a hill.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, buddy. As long as I don't see a black bait at the bottom of this hill, I'm good.
Yeah.
There it is, bud. That's how you do it right there. That's about as good as you could ask for.
He's a really good rider.
Yeah, he is.
So again, I turned the camera off at a bad moment, but we sat there for a few seconds and we talked about how to get over this. And I suggested just carry the front wheel over the rock and let your back wheel follow the line around the tree. Give your foot peg room to clear the tree.
That was slick, bud. You did that about as good as anybody could ask for.
Uh-oh, who's coming? Alright, it's not Nick. His silencer's packed a little better. We're still okay.
See what Gage can do.
That was great. He didn't quite have the drive to get all the way up it, but he got his foot peg on the top side of the tree, and that is the primary goal.
Pretty good try. I'm probably not going to do as good now that I said that. But it sure would be handy if you had an electric starter, man. Oh, it's on his foot.
Alright, so we get Gage up there. He's almost on top of the line whenever he's done taking a nap.
These boys are going to have to come ride. We're going to have to go ride. Yeah, can't talk. I'm going to have to go ride with them, and they're going to have to come ride with us. We're going to have to get a big old group of Kentucky boys together.
Yes, I know. Alan, Josh, those guys are not all Kentucky guys, but we ride in Kentucky, so that's what I'm going with.
What about that? We need to get a whole big old group of Kentucky boys together. Us guys, Alan, Josh.
Sounds good to me.
Oh man, that'd be a hoot. All right, let's see if I can do what I practice what I preach. I will take that all day long, bud.
That was awesome.
Woo!
So my run was actually somewhere between Thad and Gage. Thad made it all the way up clean like a boss. Gage struggled a little bit, but he got his foot peg above the tree, and then I got my back wheel above the tree. So it still wasn't perfect. I've got room for improvement, but it was good. So I've got some time to relax. I still can't hear Nick, and even if I did, he's got a lot of work to do to make it to where we are. So I've got a little breathing room.
Where are you going? Gage here's picking up some technical skills. Thad seems like he's pretty slick. He knows a thing or two. Gage is soaking it up like a sponge, man. He's doing real well.
So I decided to use this little extra breathing room to just relax a little bit and ride with some of my future riding buddies and just have an old-fashioned good time.
Gage needs just a little bit more follow through. Like some of those lines, he just needs to carry them out just a little bit farther. But you know, he'll pick up on this stuff like that. Ain't no big deal. He's just a baby. He'll figure it all out. I'm hearing bikes. remember this one. This is steep. That's a fun little drop down. I love that thing. My poor old bike's gonna need some TLC when I get home.
Time to get rolling. I rode with those guys for a little bit, and we took a quick water break where Thad checked his watch, and we've got 30 minutes left. That's not enough to finish this course out by any stretch of the imagination. So at this point, I'm just gonna go, keep pushing, go as far as I can, and if by some chance I do make the end of the lap, I wanna make sure that Nick doesn't do it before me, because at this point, I have Nick beaten, and I don't wanna just let that slip away because I'm lazy. Oh, this here log coming up is sketchy. It's on a downhill, and it's more than tall enough to hold both wheels off the ground if you set your skid plate on it. So what I gotta do is just kind of set my front wheel on top and then launch off.
Oh my God!
But that drop right after it, that was a hard hit. Bottomed my forks out. This one wasn't too bad. A little hairy right after the log, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, my bike's gonna need some TLC. Whoa! Get him, Nick! Go, bud! Yeah, bud! Woo!
Remember not long ago I talked about that whole not spinning thing?
I am not Nick Fahringer. Holy smokes!
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Maybe spinning's good. Oh well, he got him up there.
So I will go this way because, as I said, I am not Nick Fahringer. I might go that way. I don't know. Well, I don't want to go that way. I guess I'm going to be Nick Fahringer.
Here we are at another line that in races past I would have done everything in my power to go around this line, but this race so far has boosted my confidence, so why not give it a shot?
Whoa! Huh! Oh.
As you can probably tell, I was not even close to being prepared to succeed like that.
That's not where I want to go.
So we're creeping up on the end of my battery life on my camera. So some closing thoughts on this video. I came into this race with boatloads of confidence, and I'm coming out of the race with even more. I'm going to be able to look back on this race and all those small little moments of commitment that most guys faster than me are going to think, that's no big deal. But to me, they're going to be in the back of my mind every time I come up to another ledge or another really gnarly spot, and I'm gonna think, man, I did it back in Cliffhanger, no big deal. I can do it now. it's also going to open the doors up for some of my practice. I'm going to start practicing things that I never practiced before because I never really thought I would use them in a race. But here I am using them. So now I have to refine them and get to where I can do exactly what needs to be done every time.
Man. Commit. And it works.
Another example right there. I was learning all this stuff as the race was going on. And when I can learn something new like this and put it to practice all at the same time, it's so gratifying. And this is the main reason that I keep riding hard enduro. I learn new stuff all the time. It's not just push harder, go faster. It's you're learning how to be a better rider every race you go to. And I'm sold on it. It doesn't matter how hard the race is. You learn something. You push yourself. You succeed at something. And you learn how to make your fan make weird noises, apparently. So let's talk results real quick. I got 4th. Gage beat me to check 3, so he got 3rd. And Nick didn't make it to check 3. He had a rough day. And that result was good enough to seal up 2nd place in the 16 to 34 silver class for me this year.
Why? It's not good. I'm out of water.
And if you're new and made it this far, here's a piece of advice. Don't get discouraged no matter what. If you come out of a race learning anything, that is a win in my book. So that little tip over marked the end of my battery life. So I'll leave you with a little snippet of Roger Smar's video from the start of Easy Creek where I got around Gage. As for the rest of my race after the camera died, there was a ridiculous downhill. It was nothing but big rocks and big holes, and it was miserable and I hated life. But I made it through, and like I said, I think by the time I got out of all that and onto some easy trail, I made my way down to the uphill swamp. I had spent well over the 30 minutes we talked about earlier. So I called it a day at the uphill swamp. Come to find out that was only about a mile or so from the finish of the lap. But I didn't want to. And I was already timed out. I knew where I was and how easy it was to get back to the truck. So I just called it a day. It ended up great. All's well. Now it's time to practice for next year. We got one more race coming up. As far as I know, it's going to be the Fox Run. It's a new race in Salina, Tennessee. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to work on probably some kind of training series. Short videos, very, very short. Probably just covering some of the mountain biking I do for fitness. Maybe a little bit of the drills that I do for practicing some of those new techniques I've been picking up. And so we'll see how that goes. And if by chance you guys see something that I do that you want to know how I do it, let me know. And I'll try and see if I can't put a how-to out explaining my process. It may not be the right process, but it's mine. Other than that, I'll see y'all next time.